Recently on my channel, we shared a video all about personal branding and basically how to build a personal brand online so that you are standing out no matter what kind of brand or business owner that you are. And you guys seem to really love that video and wanted a follow up with even some more like tangible, practical things that you can do to continue to build your personal brand out. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a deeper dive into personal branding because it really has been such a key factor, I believe, in my growth in my business, no matter, back when I started my business as a photographer to now being an online educator and content creator. Personal branding has played a huge role in just my brand growth, my business growth, what's allowed me to really stand out in a saturated market. So there's 3 different things that you really need to get clear on when you are building a personal brand to make sure that you are standing out. So that's what we're going to go ahead and jump right into. The first one is to know what you stand for. So it's really important that you know exactly, what your values are, what you stand for in your brand, what's important to you, right? And what you basically want your audience to experience when they walk away from seeing your brand. This will not only help you to stand out with your personal brand, but honestly, it helps you to make an even bigger impact, right? If you know what you're all about, if you know what you're standing for, you're able to really differentiate yourself in a way that maybe other people won't. And it's going to lead you to attracting the right people to your account. And it's going to help you to make an even bigger impact in those people who come to your brand because they know exactly what you're for, what you're all about. And you want to make sure you're just attracting the right people who are actually going to benefit from your content or whatever you have to offer to the world. When it comes to figuring out exactly what these things are and what you do stand for, another way you could even think about this is what makes you different. What makes you different from others in your market? What makes you different from those who are your competitors? Even though I don't really believe we should always be looking at our competitors as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, but just knowing what is the thing that makes you different from those other people. And this is something that other personal branding video that I break down a little bit more and get you thinking about how exactly you can figure out what makes you different. But just a few things that you can think about. Think about what's your why? What quirks do you have that others can relate to? Why should someone invest in following your brand or even purchasing from your business from you versus someone else who does exactly what you do? And the more clear you can get on those things and the more clear you can get on who it is that you're for, how you're standing out, and what you stand for, and what makes you different, the easier it's going to be for you to stand out. You're not going to have to try to stand out anymore when you get really crystal clear on those things and make sure that you are incorporating that into your brand. Something that I have heard before that I absolutely love is being different is going to help you grow faster than just trying to be better than other people. So if you think about the idea of how can I make myself different? How can I make my brand different? How can I incorporate the things about myself and my personality that are going to be really easy to convey through my brand into my brand, then that's going to get you so much further than just trying to be a step ahead of everyone else in your market. The second thing to get super clear on is to know who you are for. So this kind of honestly piggybacks off of the first one that we just talked about, but you really do not want to be for everyone. Okay, so I like to think about this when I am thinking about who am I for and what is my brand about and how I don't want to be for everyone. When I start getting hate comments or even just negative comments from people who really don't like what I'm putting out for my brand or my business on social media, my website, whatever, I know that I'm doing something right. And I want to encourage you too that if you're in a place where you're starting to get some of those comments, no, they're not necessarily fun. And sometimes people are just giving them to give them and be mean, right? And because they're behind a keyboard and you can't see their face. But I also want to encourage you with that if you're starting to receive some of that almost negative feedback, that's actually a really good thing for your brand. That actually means that you're doing something right and standing out and repelling people. So the goal of your brand should be someone should be able to see your brand and know if it's for them and if it's something that they're going to absolutely love or it's going to serve them really well or they connect with really well, or if it's something they just absolutely do not like and that you are repelling some people. Even for my brand, I have had countless I don't even want to call them maybe just negative comments on YouTube. I've had countless negative comments on Instagram Reels. You would probably be surprised some of the things people have said about me and my brand, but I know because I have confidence in who my brand is for and that I am showing up and serving those people well, those negative comments actually let me know, hey, I'm doing something right. Like, there are people who are not big fans of me and my brand, and that's totally okay. And that means that I am putting myself enough out there and making my brand different enough that there are going to be people who just aren't going to be served well by me and my brand, and that's totally okay. But it's going to make my brand even stronger because those people who absolutely love me and my brand are going to be the ones that stick around and actually invest in me, right? Okay, and so the third thing that is really important that that we need to get super clear on, help you to have a really strong personal brand, is to start incorporating these things into your brand. So, especially if you watch that other video where it's more in depth on like just the basics of how to think about creating a brand, brainstorming that, all of that. This third one is really more of an action step of making sure you're actually making those changes, making those tweaks to your brand. And it doesn't have to be a big brand overhaul that you do at one time, but it can just be little by little adding these things into your brand on your social media, on your website, in your copy, in your emails, no matter where you're sharing your brand, kind of filtering it through what you want this personal brand to be and using that to help guide you in the things that you're creating. And another thing too that I just want to throw in here that can help really bring your personal brand to life is making sure that you're creating community within your brand and that you're actually engaging back with your audience, that you are, giving lots of value for those people. Once you have figured out, okay, this is what I stand for, these are the people this content is for, make sure you're engaging back with those people. Make sure you're actually building community, and that helps your brand to almost come to life a little bit more instead of just this thing you've written on paper, but you're actually engaging back with the people who are super excited about what you're doing. And something that can be really helpful too is to use feedback from your community to guide future or current offerings in your brand or business. So no matter if you have a product-based business, if you're a service-based business, no matter if maybe you're just a personal brand in and of itself, a content creator, maybe you have a podcast. I think something that can be very, very impactful for, the people you're creating this brand for is making sure you're taking what they say, good or bad, the people that absolutely love what you're doing, right? Use that to help guide the future types of like content that you're creating, to help the types of things you're gonna make to sell. That can be such an awesome way to also make your brand stand out from the rest because you're genuinely taking feedback from your community and making changes off of that and making sure your brand is serving them really well. So I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Again, if you haven't watched that other video on personal branding, be sure to hop on over there and watch it. We got a lot of really awesome feedback when we initially shared it. And if you haven't before, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel because it really helps more people to see the content we're creating. And we share all about tips for creating content for your brand to make it super easy and not overwhelming. And we talk a lot about, social media and different things like that. So be sure to follow along, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.